What's up, guys? On this week's episode, we're going to show my Nebraska archery kill. So this particular piece of property, Keenan and I sat this October 13th. You know, we're going in after a pretty nice 10 point that's been showing up consistently. Well, he's a no-show, so fast forward to October 27th. I'm heading back up. I'm self-filming. We got a huge cold front that just pushed through and a new buck that just showed up on camera 2 days prior. So I told myself, you know, if I get an opportunity at this 10 point or this new deer, you know, both of them are going to be in trouble. And you guys will just find out which one showed up. Turned out to be one heck of a hunt. And for the remainder of the show, we're going to show 2 of my late season doe kills. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. We are probably 100 yards from the stand, walking up this shelter belt, and there is a ton of scrapes along this north side. This one is really fresh. You can see definitely was hit probably last night, but just looking up I can see 4 or 5 more, so that is a good sign. We just got everything set up. We are overlooking probably close to an acre of milo, and there's a strip of, I don't know what Cody planted here, but it's green along this whole shelter belt, and then goes to the north a bit. But we walked in here, there was a ton of scrapes that were fresh along this shelter belt going east and west. We got a fresh scrape right out in front of me at 20 yards, and a scrape tree in this little green food plot. So I like the setup like this. Alright guys, it is October 27th, Sunday, and I'm heading out west to my brother's father-in-law's ground. This is where Keenan and I sat 2 weeks ago to the date, and there's a nice solid 10 point that's been showing up real consistent. We didn't end up seeing him. I think it was October 13th we sat. But Cody checked the camera yesterday and he's been showing up real consistent. He was in daylight 5 days in a row. But this last week he's been there, just not in daylight. But we had a huge cold front move through last night. It was 65 for a high yesterday. It is 35 for a high today. North wind, pressure's high. It's my brother's anniversary. I hope you guys give me some good luck tonight. I'm just excited to get in the stand. I really got a good feeling about tonight's sit. Guys, I just got set up. I hope you can hear me. I had the lapel mic working before I left. Got up in the stand and it's not working, unfortunately. So it's pretty breezy up here. We got a northwest wind. It's a perfect wind for this stand. And when I was walking in along this shelter belt, there's a ton of scrapes. There's a giant rub right to the west of me at 15 yards with a scrape right next to it. So that 5x5 is definitely the dominant buck in the area. And I got a really good feeling about tonight. I mean, the conditions are perfect for a late October cold front. Like I said, it was 65 degrees yesterday and it's like 35 for a high today. So I'm just gonna sit tight and hopefully get lucky tonight. If that buck shows up, I'm gonna sling an arrow at him. It is literally last light right now. Man. Oh man. I just had a buck come in. He was freaking wild. He had so much junk on his right side. I think he had 2 or 3 points on his left side, but his right side was just full of junk. And he came down from this bean field and was coming down the edge of this milo. And then he came into the trees, and right where that scrape is at, he came out, he was scraping on the west side of that tree. I could see him. He comes out 20 yards broadside. Like I said, it's last light. And I put my 20 on him. It looks like, I think I hit him good. I'm gonna have to look at the footage again. Oh man, I'm shaking. It's cold. Adrenaline's kicking in. Adrenaline has kicked in, and all right guys, I just got to first blood. I am over the scrape that he was hitting when I shot him, and there is blood everywhere. It's bright red. There's bubbles in it, so that is a really good sign. Here, if you guys can see, it's really bright red, and I'm gonna try to find my arrow, but there's a big pile of blood, so I'm gonna keep following this blood trail and go find that deer. All right guys, I just got about 5 feet from that scrape, and I found my arrow. It is full of blood. Let me grab it quick. It wasn't a complete pass through. The rod had broke off, which is weird because I know I didn't hit shoulder. His front leg was open when I shot, but I mean, it's at least 12 to 14 inches of penetration. I mean, there's blood over halfway up this arrow, so that's a good sign. It is bright red, so I'm gonna keep moving forward and find this deer. I just got back to the truck. The deer is dead, but he's on the neighbors. So I called Cody, and he called the landowner. So I'm gonna go to his place, which is just to the north of here, probably a half a mile, and he's gonna help me load it up. We're gonna go through his pasture and load the deer up, but It is October 28th, the following morning, and I'm sitting in front of one unique Nebraska whitetail. This deer's got so much character. I did not know about this deer till 2 days ago. Cody sent me trail cam pics of him, and I told myself, if I get an opportunity at this deer, I'm gonna let an arrow fly. Sure enough, last night he comes from the north, and he gets to 75 yards, and he goes into the shelter belt. And I knew it was a matter of time before he was gonna make it to that scrape tree right to the west of the stand. It was just tore up. Sure enough, I hear some noise, and he's on the back side of that tree making a new scrape. Comes to that scrape up front, and the rest is history. 20-yard shot, 5 minutes before legal shooting light, and made a good shot. He went about 100, 150 yards. He actually hopped onto the neighbors. So Cody called the neighbor, and I went over to his place, and he was nice enough to help me load this deer. So I just want to thank Cody for letting me come out and hunt his property. Keenan and I sat this exact spot 2 weeks ago, and we were actually going after a different buck, a 10-point, and that's the buck I was going after last night. I thought he was gonna show up. I mean, conditions were perfect. It was everything you want for an October cold front. This deer shows up, and I knew if he was gonna close the distance, he was gonna be in trouble. So, punched my first archery tag here in Nebraska for the 2019 season, and I couldn't be happier. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Well, it is January 5th, and Jeff and I are out here tonight. I'm gonna try to kill a doe. Jeff actually killed one last night, and We're gonna be sitting over this cut cornfield. Go back in this northwest corner. I got a couple doe tags filled, so try to put one down for sure, if not two. I'm sorry if you weren't on her, but she wasn't gonna. Come on. I think she's moving. I think she just went down. Yeah, man, that's a heck of a blood trail. Perfect. That is a big doe. Heck yeah, man. Not as big as the other one, but still a nice size doe.